Hello and welcome to Doubles and Trebles. We're back on the Saturday racing scene, and this week it's primarily focused on Newbury. We had a week off last week due to some adverse weather, and that turned out, funnily enough, to be the right decision for once, which is not regular on this channel. But yeah, got that one right. I think there was non-runners galore and some pretty wild results. So we're now looking ahead to what is a cracking card at Newbury. It includes the first Group 1 for all the horses of the season in the form of the Lockinge Stakes over a straight mile. Palace Pier. Let's go straight in then. Palace Pier. An odds-on favourite, a mile clear of the rest on official ratings. Adam, is he worth taking on? And can you find some each-way value for us?
I don't think he's worth taking on in the win markets, Pieman, because I do think he will win. The market suggests so. He's a mile clear on ratings, as you say. So I'm going to be we're recording this pretty early. It's only 12:30 on Thursday, so there's no without the favourite markets up yet, but there will be. So I'll be looking a bit further down behind Palace Pier to see basically who we can get to finish second behind Palace Pier. Firstly, I would say that this race, the Lockinge, was the biggest victim of the pandemic in 2020 in terms of the biggest race not to take place at all in 2020. So it's good to be back. Palace Pier's already appeared this year at Sandown in a Group 2. He's won that by 8 lengths with ease, just literally laughing at his opponents. I mean, the field wasn't great for a Group 2, but he did everything he needed to do. He looks absolutely bomb-proof here, to be honest with you. He's 4 to 6, 4 to 7 in that range. 7 of the last 10 favourites have won this race. It looks like it's going to be 8 out of 11 with Palace Pier. So yeah, like I say, I'll be having a look in the without favourite markets when they become available. There's only £4 splitting the next 5 in the market on official ratings, so it does suggest that it is quite a competitive race away from the favourite, if you see what I mean. So I'm looking at Top Rank, Pieman, a horse that was mentioned on our first ever Saturday racing preview video at Doncaster, and I was keen to take him on that day. I got it wrong. I thought he was impressive. It was a standout career best from Top Rank on that day in a listed race at Doncaster, won with a degree of ease, I thought, and that was despite carrying £5 more than all of his rivals that day. Yeah, impressive. He had a reasonably productive 2020 where he was playing his training in handicaps early on. Then he won himself a Group 3 at Haydock, ran in a really good Group 2 on his last start in 2020. And then, like I say, went to Doncaster, first time up this year, has won a listed race with ease. The jockey said that day, PJ McDonnell, he said that he wouldn't want it any quicker than it was that day, and it was on the faster side of good. He's going to get the conditions he prefers here. There's going to be a bit of soft in the description. It's good to soft at the moment. There's more showers forecast at Newbury, not heavy, but there is some showers scattered over the next 2 or 3 days before the race. He's 10 to 1 to win the race market. That's 4 favourite. So if that makes him 3rd favourite in the without the favourite market, that'll definitely be where my money's going on Top Rank. I don't know. I'm just guessing. I'm not an odds compiler, but maybe if you can get Top Rank without the favourite at 3 to 1, 4 to 1 ish. That's where I'd be putting my money on this race.
Yeah, one to watch then when that without the favourite market does appear, because Palace Pier is a very heavy favourite, 4 to 6 as we speak on Thursday lunchtime. Got Lope Fernandez in there 13 to 2, which is going to give you a little bit of value on that Top Rank selection, I would suggest, with my Oberon also in at the 9-10 to 1 mark. And then Top Rank, there's a selection then in the without the favourite market, which we can't currently quote your price on, but I'm sure you'll find it if you're watching this on the Friday or the Saturday. And James Tate, PJ McDonald set to take a ride on that one. So let's move it on then. Going to move it on to the Carnarvon Stakes, which is actually a little bit earlier on the card at 150. This is 6 furlong race for 3-year-olds, and this could well turn out to be a trial for the Royal Ascot Commonwealth Cup, I think, because Tactical in there at the top of the betting was a bit of 3 to 1, 11 to 4 around. We're now looking more towards the 2 to 1 mark, but he's shown up well when we've seen him last time in the free handicap. He will be carrying a £3 penalty as a result of that. I thought this race was going to be an absolute cracker, actually, but I mean, there's only been 7 declared, which is a bit of a shame. But have you got any thoughts on this one?
Yeah, I was looking at Creative Force, who is going to be second favourite in this race, has already won twice this year for Godolphin. He was actually entered in a handicap this weekend, and Charlie Appleby's chose not to run it, and he runs in this listed race where you go off pretty much level weight. So I don't know. I think this possibly is a step too far for Creative Force. I would have liked him in a handicap again off 103. I think he could have won again. So yeah, Tactical's going to be favourite. Drops down to 6 furlong. It's been at 7 the last 2 races, but I don't see there being a problem with 6 furlongs for him. But I'm going to keep it short, Pieman, because there's only 7 runners. I'm struggling for an each. Well, there isn't an each way angle. I don't know if Creative Force is quite good enough. Tactical, he's got that £3 penalty. I'm not sure. So it's going to be a no bet race for me, unfortunately, on this occasion, Pieman.
Yeah, well, do you know what? I'll prop us up. I'll stick one in my column. I don't do it very often.
Oh yes, this will be the second.
Yeah, let's put Tactical in there. Yeah, trying to follow up the Master of the Seas place. Let's put Tactical in there around the 2-1 mark as we speak. Just as you say, with the 7 runners, each way angle has gone completely. So I think focusing on the top of the market, I think the front 2 are pretty clear of the rest. So I would lean with Tactical at the prices 2-1.
Well, that'll be going on the doubles and trebles spreadsheet, Pieman.
Bang it on. Another loser for me. Perfect. Right. That's that done then. We'll move on. Again, a nice quick one there, but a little bit more interesting this one, the Aston Park Stakes, which is officially a Group 3. That's run at 225 on the card. 1 mile, 4 furlongs for 4-year-olds and over. And a familiar name here again, Al Arsi, is a horse that won for us very recently here on the channel, and he returns to action over the same course and distance in this particular race. He's carrying a £3 penalty for that most recent win. So I guess the question to you, Adam, would be, can Al Arsi give the St. Ledger winner Logician £3 and a beating?
Well, I don't know the answer to that, Pieman. It's for the second race running. It is going to be a no bet race for me officially, but this is a belting race. I'm really, really looking forward to it. It's a really tricky one because there's only the 6 runners. We've got 2019 St. Ledger and Group 1 winner Logician, looked a star in the making a couple of years ago. Then last year didn't return until September, where he won a conditions race easily at Doncaster. Then he turned up at York. He was 1-3 to win a Group 3 there, the same level as this race, and came last of 4. Look, has he gone at the game? Not sure. I mean, personally, I would hope not, because I do really like Logician. I think he's top class. But that last run at York was really quite bad. But you know what I say about York form, Pieman? Take no notice of York form. He's impeccably bred. It's a bit of a sign that Judmont have brought him back as a 5-year-old, to be honest, because he's already got a Group 1 win in the bag. He only had a couple of runs last year, a bit of a tricky season. So I think they fancy him to win another big prize this year, something bigger than this Group 3 at Newbury, to be quite honest with you. Al Arsi, on the other hand, has already won very well over course and distance this year. Possibly the most impressive performance by an older horse this season so far, possibly. He's officially rated £3 lower than Logician, and he carries that £3 penalty that you mentioned, Pieman. So that's a £6 swing. Al Arsi is given basically on £6 worse off terms to a former Group 1 winner. But yet Al Arsi is even money 11-10, and Logician's 9-4. I mean, that's a little bit of a head scratcher at the start of the week, Monday, when the prices went up for this race at the 5-day stage. It was almost flip flop. Al Arsi opened at 5-2. It didn't last very long with a certain bookmaker, but yeah, they opened at 5-2, and now he's even money. Like I say, I can't really bet on those terms, to be honest. If it was a gun to your head kind of thing, you would have to say Logician purely on the fact that at the weights, and he is a proven Group 1 winner, but it was a while back. You would have to be with Logician at the prices. But I won't be advising to bet in this race, but I will be advising to sit back, watch and enjoy, because it's a cracking race. And I think the winner of this is really going to be probably a Group 1 winner in the next few months, probably the Coronation Stakes at Epsom and a race like that. So yeah, and they could meet again. Both of them could run well here and meet again there. So it's a really good race. And I'm not going to go through them one by one, but there's a couple of half decent yardsticks in behind as well in the betting. It is a 2-horse race on the betting, but on ratings there's a couple of others up below that aren't too far away either. So yeah, really good race in prospect.
Yeah, I think you could definitely give a shout to Thunderous as well. Rated not too far behind. I mean, it does look a 2-horse race on the front, on the face of it. I totally get what you're saying with the prices there. I mean, we had a bit of that bit of 5-2 look far too big at earlier in the week, but now the even money is probably looking towards a lay bet, isn't it? When you consider the pedigree of Logician, the weight swing and all that. But I think all in all, a race to sit back and enjoy, and one that we're going to learn a lot from, I think, would probably be the way I would look at it. 3 o'clock at Newbury, then we're going to move it on the London Gold Cup Handicap. This looks very competitive. Where do you see this one going?
A few less runners than usual, Pieman, just the 11 in this race. You will get 3 places each way, possibly more on the day. But yeah, this is one of the best races in the best handicaps in the calendar, without question. I love this race. A bunch of 3-year-olds in a race where you've got to be very, very well handicapped to win. For example, a horse called Headman won this race in 2019. He was rated 95 on the day, finished the season on 112. In 2018, Communique was rated 84 on the day. He finished the season on 109. And then I'll give you one more. Defoe, in 2017, was rated 88, finished the season on 113, and the following season won the Group 1. It is quite simply one of the best handicaps in the calendar, and you could be a very good horse, a very well handicapped horse, and still not win this race. I mean, you've got to be, on them figures, you've got to be 10, 12 pound a stone well in to win this race. I spent quite a lot of time on this morning, Pamela, since the entries have come out. And my first port of call is always to try and take on the favourite. Now, the top of the market is currently, vying for favouritism is Baybridge, Tambaroda, and Highland Rocker. They're the three at the top of the market currently. And it's Baybridge that I just couldn't get away from, really. I have looked elsewhere. I've looked at every runner in the race. Baybridge would be the one for me. He is vying for favouritism, like I say, but if I can put a 4-1, 5-1 winner up every week, every time I speak to you, Pieman, I'll be happy. I've said that before. Clearly a late developer, Sir Michael Stout. Didn't make his debut till October last year, then tried again in November last year, didn't win either. Then has turned up this year in April at Newcastle and won a decent looking race at Newcastle by 5 lengths. Really impressive, easy as you like. The third in that race at Newcastle actually won earlier this week. I think it was on Monday, carrying top weight. So the form's been backed up a little bit. He has got an opening rating of 90. Which is lower than his two rivals at the top of the market. Tambaroda's 99, Highland Rocker's 91. So he's got a lower rating than those. Yeah, I just really like the way that Baybridge did it. Sir Michael Stout's but Ryan Moore to ride it. Ryan's rode him before on his debut last year, but Ryan's back on. Like I say, if you can, the markets are still developing themselves as we speak. But 4 or 5-1. I know it's likely to be favourite, but it's of a big interest to me, Pieman, Baybridge.
Yeah, looks a wide open contest to me, but Baybridge certainly an interesting selection. Plenty of money around for it. And I think it's fair to say that whatever wins that race and a few in behind will be winning again very soon. And definitely a race to watch for your notebooks and stuff, I think. But that sums up the 4 races that are live on ITV from Newbury. But we have got some other races that aren't televised. Anything catching your eye on the rest of the card?
Yeah, there was a couple at Newbury. I've not got a clue what the prices will be in a listed fillies race at 4:10, but Roger Varian's got a horse in there that's only had one start, Eshaada. He said in one of his stable tours that he hopes this horse will turn into a Ribblesdale horse. Now, the Ribblesdale is a very good Royal Ascot Group 2. So I thought that was big comments for a once raced Nottingham maiden winner. She's unlikely to be favourite for this race, given what the opposition, they do look, some really nicely bred fillies in there. But yeah, depending on the prices, Eshaada would certainly be of interest. Not a certain bet, like I say, given the prices. We'll find out what the prices are in due course. But yeah, look out on the Twitter feed, for the official final conclusion there. One that I will be back in, and he's turning into a bit of a cliff horse and a bit of an expensive horse to follow for a lot of people, including myself, is King Ottokar in the 4:45.
Heard a lot of that name.
Yeah, there's definitely people that'll be watching this rolling their eyes. I can see them doing it right now, probably texting me later. But he clearly needs some soft conditions underfoot. He's going to get some sort of soft. Maybe it's good to soft, maybe it's outright soft with the showers forecast. He's going to get that here. He's down to a mark of 97, which he's been running handicaps off 105, 103, etc. It was a complete no-show in the Lincoln when I put him up as one of my selections there. Complete no-show on the ground up, was reasonably quick that day. Like I say, this looks more to his liking. 4:45. Again, I don't know the prices, but he's going to be in the top 3 in the market, I imagine. Again, we'll confirm in the comments below or on Twitter.
So a couple to keep an eye out there for Eshaada in the listed fillies race and King Ottokar, which I've heard it a few times from Adam, and he says he doesn't have any loyalty to horses, but I mean he seems pretty loyal to this one.
Last chance this weekend. He's got soft ground. He's off a low handicap mark for his career. This is last chance for King Ottokar. Trust me.
Okay. I'm struggling to believe that, but we'll see how he fares. Anyway, so yeah, that's Newbury wrapped up. But there are 3 other races on ITV, all coming from HQ Newmarket. So anything to keep your eye on there? Yeah,
just the one that's on ITV. I've got one that's not on ITV. I'll come on to. Jumby. Now, this was an eye catcher. Many people would have had this down as an eye catcher. It was last seen on the 15th of April at the Craven meeting. Finished 2.5 lengths behind Creative Force that I've mentioned earlier, that has won again since. He got no run at all, to be honest, Jumby, in that race. And yeah, it would have gone in a few. It would have gone in a few notebooks. I just think he is significantly better than the mark of 95. This race, the 3:15 at Newmarket, is the biggest field of the weekend. There's 17 runners, so I'm not going to get any prizes for originality putting up a 3-1, 3.5-1 favourite in a 17-runner race. But like I say, he's got to be better than that mark of 95. He was bang unlucky last time. He would have been a lot closer to Creative Force, and Creative Force is now rated 103. And could be even higher if he wins earlier in the card. So yeah, an obvious eye catcher, but I'd take a 4-1 winner every day of the week. There's one away from Newmarket, quite interesting, really. I think we've saved the best till last time, because I started doing some notes last weekend in regards to the Ascot racing before I looked at the weather forecast. I knew it was going to be a washout, so we abandoned that mission. The nap of last week and the biggest and the most confident selection so far on doubles and trebles last week would have been Walhaan, which was entered in the Victoria Cup at Ascot, did not run because of the slow ground. I told you to back it, I backed it, and it didn't run. So we're going again this weekend. It's in the 350 at Newmarket. There's no prices yet, and I really don't know what price it may be. But I thought last week in that Victoria Cup, he was in the region of 20-1. I'd have had him half the price. Honestly, I would have. So I'm hoping he's equally underestimated in the market this week. So Walhaan, he went into my notebook last year. He was a French import, actually. And he went into my notebook. He was second at Ascot last July at 100-1. And the horse that won that day, River Nymph, actually went and won the Victoria Cup last week. So the form's definitely been backed up. He then went to York and ran in one of the best handicaps of the season. He was 8th, probably better than that. But, I'm not saying he should have won. Then the bit later in the season, he turned up in the Cambridgeshire at Newmarket. That's over 9 furlongs, massive handicap, 27 runners, massive handicap.
Huge field, isn't it?
And Pieman, he was incredibly unlucky, Walhaan, and I am talking from the pocket because I backed him this day. Incredibly unlucky. There was 27 runners. The first 12 in the Cambridgeshire raced on the near side of the track. Right, we've talked about Newmarket draw biases on this channel before. The first 12 home all raced on the near side. 7 runners raced on the far side, the unlucky ones. They were drawn on the far side, so they were forced to race over there. Walhaan finished first of those 7 runners with a degree of ease, so it was bang unlucky. It's just one of them where you don't know what the draw bias is until the gates open, so your money's down, you can't do anything about it. But yeah, he was like I say, the first 12 raced near side, and Walhaan just had no chance from the far side, along with his other 6 counterparts over that side. So he had no chance. Forget his final run, because that was at Leicester in a small field on bad ground. He clearly doesn't like bad ground because he was withdrawn last week, and he's £2 lower in a handicap now than when he was last seen. I just think Walhaan last week, it would have been a great bet. Again, we're waiting for the prices, but I'd definitely be interested from an each way standpoint. There's 11 runners in this 350. I really, really fancy Walhaan. Let's see how it goes.
Well, for a man that doesn't have any loyalty, that was a lovely backstory to Walhaan as well. So I mean, King Ottokar.
I'd only backed him once.
Yeah. I totally understand where you're coming from, and I hope it does the business for you. And Jumby, the other one to watch in the 315, and obviously running in a huge field, but that's why you get a little bit of juice in the pricing if it is a good thing and it gets a clean run. Could look like cracking value in a bit of a hindsight job as well. So that does wrap up our Saturday racing. I hope you enjoyed the video. If you did, please give it a like and do subscribe to the channel if you enjoy our stuff. Got plenty going on, including dart stuff, racing stuff. We've got an Ascot preview coming up. We've got golf weekly previews as a new thing. So definitely have a look around, see what you can find. Drop us a comment with who you're backing this weekend, and do give us a follow on Twitter as well. We'll see you very, very soon. Cheers for watching.
Cheers.